Let's see who else here. Oh crap! It's already been 16 seconds. I didn't realize I had started it as early as Matthias. What's up? Actually, I had two things to show you guys. I found something this morning when I was looking for something, and I forgot I even had something kind of cool. Ready for this? So the first thing I'm gonna show you, my sister's already seen the other thing I'm gonna show you, but first thing I'm gonna show you, I was looking for something else this morning, and I opened a box. I was like, "What's in this? It's heavy." When I was still in the Navy, so it says "Get ready to get dirty," and it's signed by Mike Rowe. They did an episode where they made paperweights out of glass, and they did the dirty shirts. But the thing is, I submitted my job in the Navy as a gunner's mate on a 5-inch gun systems as a dirty job, because it was hydraulic fluid, grease, all that. It's just a nasty job. It was so much fun, but they couldn't do it because of the security clearance issues. So they sent me a letter with a box signed by Mike Rowe saying, "We really appreciate your submission, but unfortunately, we talked to the United States Navy. There's too many, there was too much as far as like security issues with them being in a gun mount and filming, but they sent me this, and it's glass. It's heavy as fuck. But these were ones that there was a whole bunch of them that Mike actually signed when they made this episode, and they sent me one of these. But that's not what you guys wanted to see, is it? Guess what I did? So I was at the shop all day yesterday till about 11:30. I finished the Judge Dredd knife, which I like to see it, because I didn't get much video yesterday. I was busy. I was working on a bunch of other stuff, and filming video kind of fell to the wayside. But the Judge Dredd knife, hang on, let me turn this around for you. The Judge Dredd knife is done, guys. Oh, sis, you didn't get to see that part. The two-tone orange pill clip that I did. And I took all those hot spots out. If you guys remember the part 1, part 2 videos. If you guys remember those, hey, it just started, Nico. It's only been a couple minutes. The part 1, part 2 video I did, make call. Oh. I made coffee. I've been up for a bit. We missed it, Dustin. I just showed, you'll have to go watch the live feed over again once it posts. Sorry about that. But like I said, all the hardware is bronze. These areas here, I hand rubbed, because this whole thing was red, if you remember. And then the whole thing was black, but I had masked off these low areas so they stayed red. And so I had to take off the black ceramic. And I just used a piece of Kratex. It's a hobby rubber. It's like rubber with abrasive in it. And I sat for, while I had stuff in tumble and while I had stuff in oven and waiting on stuff, I just sat with a small piece of abrasive and just hand rubbed that stuff. And now the hardware is got a polish to it, but I even did the posts. Even these posts for the pocket clip are the same voltage and color bronze. But once it's all together, like you guys saw the blade and you saw what I was doing, but now that it's all together, what do you guys think? Does it look Judge Dredd-esque? Because my plan is, I'm probably going to sharpen it, and I'm going to have to keep it for a while. Like it was a lot of work, and I've always wanted an ADV butcher. I just didn't want one with all the hot spots. Now that I have the capability of repairing all that, the hot spots are gone. Those aren't near as sharp. I knocked the sharp corners off of that. All that really sharp jimping that was down in here has been rounded over. All of that really sharp shit that you don't need. The worst place to have it on the inside of that lock bar is done. I actually colored the lock bar insert so that you don't see a change in color because there's enough other contrast. I thought, you know what, why? Because you could see it when you look down in here. So I went ahead and did that black. Red in the fuller, but it's that deep dark red. And even though I got a little bit of black over on some of the spots, like there's a little dirty black spot here and here, I'm not concerned about that because, like I said before, Judge Dredd is a gritty, dirty character. That's why I wasn't too concerned about having a little bit of residual black ceramic stay in areas, because it gives it that, if you guys know, he's got that shoulder thing that he wore that has layers, and I just always assumed that that would have like dirty spots on it and shit. So it came out exactly the way I want it. It's a combination of red ceramic, black ceramic, and anodizing. So the bronze is anode, that's red ceramic, that's black ceramic, and I just took that black ceramic off in these areas and did a bronze anode on it. But I mean, you guys know that had 2 full 20-minute videos worth of work, which you guys know that that's condensed down a lot. That's the work of a whole day. So did that, and I orange peeled the scales on a buck for Bradley. It's almost done. I have to just a little bit more touch up because I'm trying to do like a really deep orange peel. So this orange peel is so much you could feel it. I could have done the red splatter, but it's a pain. And the problem is that the red isn't a blood red, really. It's more of a darker red. And I don't think it would have looked, as good. I don't like the splatter pad. I've tried it a couple times, and there's a way to do it. You just use fingernail polish and put it on. So you would do red ceramic, and then you put the fingernail polish on, you just splatter it, and then you blast away everything else and put your second color, and then you've got your splatter pattern. But I don't like the splatter pattern refinishes. The zombie knives and stuff. My sister will get a kick out of this. So we took my daughter to Disneyland for her third or fourth birthday. I can't remember. She's barely talking. And I got my Grumpy mug. And she knew Grumpy because she had the toys. She would grab this. She would point at my coffee cup and say, "Grandpa, Grandpa, Grandpa." I was like, "Oh God, child, if you only knew how accurate what you just said is." We got her the whole set of all the stuffed animals. She has the whole 7 dwarfs. But for a long time, she had a Grumpy doll, and she'd walk out, "Grandpa, Grandpa, Grandpa." I was like, "No, baby, it's Grumpy, Grandpa." I was like, I mean, you're right. But now I'm the grumpy one. Now that my dad's gone, I had to take up the mantle. Hey, Josh. This is gonna be a long video. I'm gonna grab. I was to shop till 11:30. I went to bed at 1. I got up at 6 this morning. I was sending emails. I'm going back to the shop because I still have got other knives to refinish. And David's knives just showed up that I'm gonna have to work on next weekend. So it's been a busy couple weeks. So I hope you guys don't think I'm forgetting to I'm trying to keep content up, but I am still trying to work. And we are at 3901 on the subscriber count for this channel. So I'm trying to keep content up, but the problem is I don't want to always just do live feeds because they distract from my work. But if I do an actual video, sometimes it takes me a day. The last video I did, like actual video, it took me, last video, it took me like 2 hours to get everything put together and get the transitions the way I wanted and set it up. And then, I don't mean it like the edit didn't take that long. And then to save it and then get it posted and get tags and everything in it. It takes about 2.5 hours total to get all that done. So that's 2.5 hours that I'm doing nothing when I could be working. And I just haven't had time for that. And the other thing too is I don't have much I mean, I have those Gavcos that I sharpened for David, and they were interesting to say the least. I'm gonna talk to Mike. Mike's knives are always nice, but his sharpening needs some work. Leaves a little be desired. Some of those edges were pretty rough. The thresher that David sent me was the worst. I was gonna film it, and I was like, yeah, I just want to get it done. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't make it up on the channel. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't make it on Instagram because I don't have time to put the shit up. And I know that I'm handicapping myself because that is part of the business, and getting stuff up is part of the business. But geez, it's just live chat. Oh, there we go. I missed one. Never got the notification. I just got an ad. Also took about 10 minutes between the email I got that you went live before I could find it on YouTube. I don't know. It would not surprise me at all if YouTube just, I don't know. I don't want to get into my opinion on it because everybody's going to get upset. There are hiring policies in this country that handicap companies. Nope. I am not a knife broker. I mean, I'll sell stuff every once in a while. This is going to be sold, guys. So if you are interested in it, I mean, I don't know how long I'm going to hold on to it. I'm probably not going to carry it because I know I'm going to sell it. I mean, I could, because the only thing I'd scratch up is pocket clip. That's an easy fix. But I'm not a knife broker. That's not something. Somebody was like, oh, you should do what Apostle P does. And I was like, yeah, but that's all he does now. He doesn't. I'm not a knife broker. I'm not a knife point of sales guy. You want somebody that's a knife point of sales? Talk to Alex. Alex works at Smoky Mountain Knife Works. You see him on my videos every once in a while. I'm not a knife broker. I'm a knife sharpener / hobby knife maker. I don't want to be in sales. Very rarely am I doing sales. I sell a service, but I'm not selling a product, and I don't want to have to. Because here's the flip side too. I've been in this predicament where I've bought knives thinking that they would be, something I could hold on to for a little bit and then turn around and sell it and get my money back out of it. Guess what? Most of those knives are still fucking here. Most of them never sell. I've had people tell me that they look at knives like an investment. Well, some knives are, and some people do it well, but I'm gonna tell you right now, knives are not like classic cars. They do not appreciate in value often. There are some exceptions to that. Rexford, Rudolph, I can't remember what his name is. So a couple of other makers, you could probably pick their stuff up real cheap a while ago, and if you still had it, it'd be worth so much more. If you pick the other exception is like you go to TKI or places like that. If you guys remember, I won a Rexford at the Cali Custom Show and turned around and sold it for the customer. I paid $2,000 of his money and turned around and sold it. No, I paid $1,000. We paid $1,000 of the customer's money and turned around and sold it for $8,000 that night for the customer. So there are knives, there are exceptions to that, but in general, knives don't appreciate. So if I buy a bunch of stuff and somebody sees that I bought, let's say a Kershaw Leek, and then I add the sharpening cost to it, the average person that doesn't know the difference between factory edge, my edge, somebody that's not into edges and things like that, big deal, I don't care, is gonna look at, why should I buy this from you on eBay for more than I can buy it in the fucking store? There's no way to explain that unless you're a knife guy and an edge snob. It does not make financial sense. Is that a good enough answer? Is that an adequate response? But I am going to, I haven't decided if I'm gonna wait for the wife and kid to get back. They went ice skating this morning early. I heard my wife's alarm go off at like 3:30. I remember grunting. We had Korean wings with pickled daikon radish. Now, I don't know if you've ever smelled daikon radish, but it smells a lot like poop going in, but it's delicious. It's one of those things, it's like Limburger cheese. So anyway, I ate the pickled radish. I'll get back to you. So I ate like 3 tubs of the pickled radish, and Elliot's like, how do you even eat that? How do you even eat that? He's like, it smells like shit going in. I was like, but it's delicious. It just smells bad, and then you burp, and it smells. If you've eaten something that when you burp makes it smell like a fart, you know it's gonna be worse coming. Oh, it is bad, bad. It's lingering. It's making my eyes water. But it's so good, right, Nico? But it does. It smells like you open the container and it smells a little bit like a fart. Okay, it smells a lot like a fart. And then you eat it and it smells more like a fart when you burp. And then it comes out and then it just smells like roadkill and death and garlic. But we ate those wings. It was delicious. So we hung out at the shop. I actually got a lot of work done. I finished 3 knives. Did you burp? Did you burp? And she's like, what does that smell? Nico, you didn't get to see this. I'll tell you the story about this some other time, or you can watch the beginning of the live feed since you missed it. I think I'm gonna get ready and take off, go to the shop. I've got several knives to finish today. So it's gonna be a long day. I figured the earlier I get there, the better. It's always better. Oh. I brushed my teeth before I went to bed last night. Mom is high, gotta feed her. I'm high, there better be breakfast, or I'm gonna kill someone. So my mom got her medical marijuana card. And my brother-in-law took her to the dispensary. She's like, it's probably like me, like the first week that I just said, fuck it. I quit my job and I held out for some couple things that were happening, maybe some other government job possibilities. And I realized how much I despised the thought of that real quick. And I started smoking weed and I was like a kid in a candy store. So you guys know, very little of what I follow on Instagram is knife stuff. I don't follow knife stuff. Let me put it's like, so I don't know how many of you guys actually work in knife industry, making knives, sharpening knives, doing refinishing, any of that. You do that 6 days a week for 8 to 15 hours a day, you get tired of it. And so very little of what I do on the internet and YouTube is anything involving knives, unless I'm looking for something to research. I looked up a couple other YouTubers' videos about the Mark II. I looked up stuff on the internet of the history of the Mark II. But unless it's for a specific reason, I'm not, I try to stay away from it, because the fact is, you get tired of it. Like, you don't want to burn yourself out. Like, you can't, as much as I love knives, it can't be a 24/7 thing. You know? So, no, I do not. I follow very few knife makers on Instagram, unless it's people that I'm interacting with, like Aaron Frederick. Oh God, I gotta give that guy a call. Aaron Frederick, Jim Skelton, Half Face Blades. I DM with Adam back and forth occasionally. I haven't done it in a while. I need to get with him. I want to go up to the shop and do a shop tour video for you guys, because it's another veteran-owned business. Adam was a SEAL there at Half Face Blades, and I can't ever remember his last name. Arabito, I believe. Acevedo. No, Acevedo was a guy on my first boat. Arabito. Adam Arabito, I believe is how you pronounce it. He runs Half Face Blades. I've seen him. I've met him a couple times. Been by the shop. Seems like an amazing guy. Let's see. Who else do I know that I talk to? Oh, Tim Reeves. I text Tim Reeves occasionally. I talk to him on the phone every once in a while. He's another guy that like it just seems like the people that don't like him have caught him every time, just have caught him at the wrong moment. I know that I saw him at the Cali Custom show. No, Vegas, the Las Vegas show. And he and I were talking, but you could just see, like, he was like, we were talking, and he's just all wound up. And he was like, I just was dealing with it. He's like, you ever have a customer that's just better for you just to get rid of? And at that time, I was like, I'd had a couple, but I'd never had one that I really just rubbed me the wrong way. I've had one now. I did a knife for a guy, gave him a discount to begin with, and the whole interaction, like I read his email and I answered back to like he this is a list of the things I want, and so I responded back and I rogered up, and I said yeah, should be no problem. I see this and this, this and this, and he's like, what about the other answers? I was like, I only respond when you send me. So you guys know, if you send me an email and I read it, I'm gonna read the whole thing, but I'm only gonna respond back. I'm gonna get a Roger. Sounds great. That's what you're gonna get. Unless I see something wrong. So I may address 2 items out of 4. Like, sounds great, but this and this. You didn't respond. I was like, I didn't feel I needed to when I said, Roger, shouldn't be a problem. Let's address these 2 things. And then it was just, the whole thing was, the guy's new to the knife world. He's an office guy. He was kind of condescending the first time we talked. Didn't want to pay the full price. Roger, you know what I'm talking about. So he was kind of condescending and kind of and questioning things. And I mean, I don't care if you question it. It was the whole way. It was the whole way that the interaction went. And so the last, I did his knife exactly the way he wanted. It looked beautiful. It was great. And then the first thing he did was he put it on a work sharp, fucked it up. And all of the work I had done was ruined. It looked worse than it did when it came in. I had told him I would sharpen it for him. And then the whole thing was the knife was not a really expensive knife. And he kept going, well, but you shouldn't have to have these problems. It's a high-end knife. I was like, no, it's not. That is not a high-end knife. That is a $100 knife that you have now spent. At the time, I was like, you put 120 into the last time I finished it. I sent it back and you redid exactly what you did the first time. And now you want me to fix it for like $50. And I was like, it's not gonna happen. And then there was some, like, he said he was just like, I was just questioning the process. But he was like, I watched the video. It seems pretty straightforward. I don't know why it's such a big deal. It's charged so much. And I was like, that's not a normal finish that you're wanting on this. What you're asking me to do is you've got now 2 different substrate finishes. One spot where you accidentally polished it on the back side of a work sharp belt where it's really polished and the rest of it's stone washed. The anode's not gonna come out the same color. You're not gonna hit it. Chris and I both agreed. Chris was standing there while I'm talking on the phone. And the guy started, well, I bought an anode rig and this and that, and I watched the video and it just seems pretty straightforward. I was like, great, I'm sending you back your $50 and I'm sending you your knife. And I didn't even touch it. And I was like, it was just, there are some times that it's just better for you to lose that little piece of business than to have to deal with someone that you just can't deal with. And I've only had to do it a couple times. I usually have no problem dealing with it. There's some people that, and it's, I don't know if it's because I didn't go to college and I might seem uneducated, but I can guarantee you that I have friends that have college degrees that are fucking retarded. So that little piece of paper doesn't mean you're smart. And then, but then there was this condescending tone. Like, he's like, well, I'm an office, whatever, manager or this and that. And I was like, you work in a fucking cubicle for him, man. I work with my hands. I come up with shit creative. I have to fucking come up with shit because if I don't get creative, every fucking knife that I do leaves the house the same way, which is why this was kind of an exercise in my pet project. I wanted to see exactly what I could do. Can I make it look, can I translate what's in my head onto this? I didn't know if I could. Let's turn this, maybe we get some better light on it. Could I translate what I thought of Judge Dredd? Subtle enough that it's not like, it doesn't scream Judge Dredd. If you hand this to somebody, they're not gonna go, oh fuck, it's a Judge Dredd knife. Subtle enough that it kind of flies under, but enough that they're like, that reminds me of something. What's this remind? And you go, Judge Dredd, they're like, oh fuck yeah. So, you know, I might not have gone to college, but I guarantee I can do more with my hands than that guy can. And it's just, I spent all that time in the military. Oh no, there's a good chance this might wind up on Arizona Custom Knives. I had never thought about that, about the fact that there are some knives that I have that I just hold on to because I haven't been able to sell. And then I forgot about Arizona Custom Knives. And so there's a chance this is gonna wind up on Arizona Custom Knives. I've got to find the paperwork that came with it, the original paperwork that came with it. That would be better, but it's in the original case. And then, you know, of course, I'm gonna put a note in it that it was refinished by me. So, where are we at? What time is it? Actually, I'm gonna run this till 9 because I don't wanna be, even on Saturday, there's still traffic. So if I leave here at 9, I should be good. So we've got another 25, 30 minutes-ish, if you guys choose to stick around that long. I do have to take you with me though, because I gotta put some socks on. Let's go for a walk. I gotta take the dog out before I go too, so actually we may only have another 15 minutes or so. Traffic goes horrible here, 3 cars in 10 minutes. I hope you fall off a step stool. I hope you go outside and the wood deck is all wet and you fall, slip, bust your butt. I mean, I don't want you to hurt yourself. I mean, I want you to hurt yourself, but just not bad. So yours was one of the knives that went in yesterday. So yours got masked off. The Lion Spy, sorry. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would recommend not taking that knife apart. It is a pain in the ass. It is so tight. I didn't put the pocket clip. I think I told you that the tool slipped, so there's some scratching on the end piece for the pocket clip. I'm gonna try and clean that up today. The screw that goes into it. But nothing, David, but your knives are here. I'll show you the Judge Dredd knife in a minute before I leave. But I got it all blasted. Got a nice even blast. I put it in last night at 6 p.m., so it's been tumbling for a little over 12 hours in the small medium. I'm gonna pull it out and look. I had a customer just say, hey, before that goes to Arizona Custom Knives, can I buy it? I'm good with that. So if you're still watching, sir, not to call you out, absolutely, but I want to carry it for a while. I've always wanted an ADB Tack Butcher, and I wanted one my way, and I wanted all the hot spots gone. And so with that having been completely modified, it's the way I want it for right now. And so, I mean, it's not something I would carry a lot. It's cumbersome and it's heavy and bulky, but it is something I've always wanted, and I'm pretty sure that the fun of it will wear out. And I can always refinish as long as I don't screw the scales up. That's the hard part. If I can keep the rest of it good without fucking it up, yes, absolutely, I will sell it to you before I put it on Arizona Custom Knives. So, but David's knife showed up. But Chris, your stuff went into tumble. I'm gonna check on it this morning. If it needs a few more hours, I'm gonna be up there anyway. I don't think I'm gonna work tomorrow. Really don't know if I'm gonna work tomorrow, but I have one more of Jeff Cable's knives to finish. Sir, if you're here, I know you're here. So I finished the Megalodon. I haven't posted pictures up yet to Instagram, but I did a satin. I don't have it here. It's still at the shop because I have other work to do on his stuff. All of you guys' knives are getting worked on right now, with the exception of David's, because David's showed up last night. My wife signed for him. Will probably be done this weekend. If not, I have a little bit of work next week, but I have to put stuff on hold when Elijah Isham's stuff shows up so I can get it done for Blade Show for him. That's the deal. If I decide that I take on Makers stuff, they automatically go to the head of the line because they have a time constraint. The only caveat to that is if I currently am working on stuff that somebody has paid the extra money for the express fee. And even then, their stuff still has to come second. It just gets worked on as I can get to it. So, but like I said, Elijah only had 4 knives that he was sending me. So but I also don't want to make it difficult for you guys to get work done, because that would be unfair. I can't treat Makers up here and stuff like that, because the next thing you know, I'm doing stuff for Makers, but everybody's like, oh, that would be good. You get some more money and stuff like that. I was like, sounds like it, but like really, how often Makers are only going to send me stuff before a show. Is it possible for you to do a ceramic coating with the scales attached on a fixed blade? Problem with fixed blades, you can't do big stuff. That ceramic coating is $60 a liter. And you have to have a container. There's 2 problems with it. You have to have a container that you can get the whole thing submerged in. You can't do a line and line, or you're gonna see that line. You can't have anything obstructing the electrical contact because it's like electroplating. And then the other thing too is when you get parts that are too big, I had a problem. I'm not gonna lie, the ADV blade is big. It was pushing it. I had to redo the black several times because there was some spotting that you get with certain steels. Like I did the ADV for that you guys saw on Instagram, where I did the black blade on that ADV Hummer. It was big, but it wasn't as thick. So what happens is if it's not conducting electricity evenly and you get some weirdness to it, and some steels are worse than others, you get spots where you have thick spots, and then there's spots, and it looks splotchy. So fixed blades, I'm gonna say fixed blades, no. Fixed blades would have to be a different kind of coating. Every knife that gets refinished, I do this. That's the thing you guys don't see too. When I refinish a knife for you guys, there's hours. This pivot is tight as shit right now. And I'm squeezing that lock bar to break this back in because this blade has been blasted 3 times. And so that detent ball needs to cut back into that material. And you can hear it. So what I'm doing is I'm squeezing that and I'm smoothing that back out, because last night was so stiff, you'd push it and it would just go to there. And so I've been working and playing with this, getting the bearings, cleaning up, because the ceramic isn't thick. It doesn't block things, but what it does, there's still the blasted area underneath, and it's really ugly if you don't, if you've got the time to do it this way. I mean, I do, because it's mine. Otherwise, you're gonna have to mask off the detent track. And when you mask off the detent track, it just looks weird. If it swings into view, like say, there's some knives that when you pull it open, you can see the detent track as it comes up. You can see it when the blade comes up. You can see that track. Well, this one doesn't, but there's some knives that you do that, and then you can see where the ceramic looks different. because it's been masked, and then you ceramic over top of it, and then you get the detent back in. But you can still see that difference in surface finish because it's really hard to mask a line that fine and have it come out perfect. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's hard to mask a line that's not fine like this. This was difficult to mask. I had to remask that, oh, good 5-6 times. It would look great, and then you look at it and start to peel up, and it wasn't consistent and even. And even now, there's still some inconsistencies where the mask, and I mean, it's just so hard to get it where the masking overlapped and then cut in. But the worst of it was on the back where this area is, where it splits. But the nice thing is the pocket clip really doesn't let you see it too badly. And actually, it didn't come out too bad. It came out great. Elliot even was like, that looks great. That came out great. I was like, yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. He's like, now sell it. I was like, but I want it. He's like, sell it. Get the money. And I was like, but I like it. He's like, it's great. Sell it. Sell it and buy another one. I was like, but Elliot. Yeah, it is. That's another thing you can tell your customers there at Smoky Mountain Knife Works that I can do. If it's titanium, well, hell, if it ain't, even if it ain't titanium, I can do black ceramic and shit like that on steel. I've done steel handled knives. I mean, fuck, I did the blade. I really like this. And like I said, with having all those hot spots gone, the things that always bothered me about the Tack Butcher, about how sharp it was down in here, even I got tough hands. Even down in, for my hands, that was uncomfortable, the way that that jimping was cut in so deep. And then here, that jimping, when you would, you get your thumb, it just hurt. And then it hurt when you would flip it because your fingers would rub across it. And then there was a really sharp point right here and right here. And so I took that out. What else did I take off? Oh, I cut the choil in it so that it had an actual choil as opposed to that little. These things, I'm not gonna lie to you, if somebody doesn't want a choil on these, they are a pain in the ass to sharpen all the way to the heel. But this one has a choil now. So, oh, that's right, Alex, you got promoted. That's cool, though. I talked to Elliot about the, so Elliot has wanted to try and get knives on Smoky Mountain Knife Works for a while because, like, it's so bright. It's so bright in my face. Like a lot of times people see the Smoky Mountain Knife Works catalog, and I'm not gonna lie, I was guilty of it too until I started looking at it real close. I would get the Smoky Mountain Knife Works catalog and I based it off of what I was remembering when I was a kid. Like Frost Cutlery, and I mean, no joke. I'm not trying to be offensive or say Smoky Mountain Knife Works isn't a good company. It's just that I associated it with what I saw growing up, which was that's where you bought cheap knives. And they were not good knives. But the thing is, now we've reached a point where Smoky Mountain Knife Works is one of the largest retailers of knives. But Jesus, I'm so fucking fed up with this internet situation. And it's not the internet. That kitchen, it's that goddamn meter. It kills my internet. Anyway, what I was saying is, Alex, yes, you're right. You have the whole thing is, Smoky Mountain Knife Works was what I associated with like cheap, crappy Frost Cutlery, United Cutlery. That's where we bought all that stuff that I had when I was growing up that was just horribly low quality stuff. But the fact is, like Alex says, they have a not growing, you guys have a huge line of higher quality knives. Spyderco's, Benchmade. Do you guys sell Do you guys sell Microtech? I can't remember. Are you guys a Microtech vendor, dealer? But at any rate, like I said, Yeah. So see, I mean, I have a dual frequency router, and then I have a second dual frequency router so that I have two separate, there's just so much noise in all the frequencies because you go to my kitchen and you wind up in an area where every one of my neighbors has a smart meter as well. And every one of those is on a different frequency, and it kills that whole end of the house. So I can't use 5G. I can't even see my 5G network in the kitchen. So I have to use the 2.4 gigahertz as opposed to the 5 gigahertz band. So it does not matter which router I'm attached to. The kitchen, where I like to do my shit, is a dead zone. And it's frustrating. And then the fact is, the flip side of that too is my internet speed will go from 50 to 2. Yeah, Sebenza is like one of my all-time favorite videos, Barry. If you go back, I've done several videos about Chris Reeves knives. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So guys, if you're just like me and until recently realized that Smoky Mountain Knife Works was sending you a quality catalog, I just usually use it for, I'd take a quick cursory look at the cover and stuff like that. I thought he asked if I carried. Oh, my mistake. So if you look at the catalog now, it's not just for sharpness testing. It's actually a robust line of knives that they carry. They still have the cheap stuff that you used to get when you were a kid, but I'm not gonna lie, some of those companies, not Frost, Frost has not done it yet. Frost has not stepped into quality. They still make gas station Chinesium garbage stuff that they've made for years. But there's United Cutlery actually they've got some knives that are not bad. I need to take that boot knife with me today. I want to blast those handles and ceramic coat the handles at least. Maybe, oh no, they're aluminum, can't. But, you know, that's way, way different than what it used to be. There was another knife company out there. And it wasn't a knife company. It was a seller, a vendor, and they had a catalog that would come out. And I can't remember what it was, but it was horrible. It was horrible. It was all like Mall Ninja shit. It was like Bud K. Now Bud K is the Smoky Mountain Knife Works for new generation. It's what Smoky Mountain Knife Works used to be. I have never seen anything on Bud K. You guys remember the Scorpion dagger that I had that I showed you guys in the oldest knives some of the oldest knives I've owned? I found that same knife. They still sell it. It's called the Scorpion Dagger 2, the Scorpion 2 dagger. And it is $9.68 on Bud K. And I'm like, my God. If it was that cheap then, or if it's that cheap now, how cheap was it when I fucking bought it? My daughter was being a little shit the other day. I threatened to paddle her ass with my fucking boat paddle. Medford knives are just, they're like this. They're overbuilt, they're heavy, they're bulky, things like that, but they are still really, really well built. And I don't know if you guys follow Greg Medford. That dude is fucking hilarious. He tames it down for his customers, but if you catch him one-on-one, like I did, I caught him in, where were we at, Nico, when I caught fucking Greg? And we were just talking, and he's like, dude, some of my customers are the fucking worst. He's like, that's why I avoid your warranty if you take fucking knife apart. He's like, some of them are just dumber than a fucking axe handle. And I was like, go on. Please, do tell. And I'm like, I'm listening. I got you. And I was like, That's what it was. It was me. Was it me? You? That's when Nico was in the bathroom, wasn't it, Chris? Eric and Nico took off, and they were both real short, so they got lost because they couldn't see us through the crowd. That's what it was. You and I were over talking to Medford, and Nico and Chris had went to go. No, they went to get food. Nico came back with my food. We met up at Nathan's table. He's like, dude, some of my fucking customers are dumber than a fucking axe handle. He's like, these motherfuckers could not make a soup sandwich. It is just beyond me, the things that they're able to do to a knife that I thought I made unbreakable. It's like I get shit back, and I'm like, how the fuck did you do this? I was like, keep going, Greg. Let it out. Let it out. Just let it out. It's like therapy. I wasn't even videotaping. Nico had my phone. It was just great. I was like, oh, this is classic. This is a beautiful thing. Yeah, that's exactly when it was. You and I walked over because there was the kitchen knife place right next to Medford's booth. Fucking, oh, Jesus, I don't know. I just don't know what goes on in their fucking heads sometimes. I was like, I'm here for you, Greg. I'm here for you. He's hilarious. And then the big tall guy that works there, it's just fucking, I can't think of his name. Yeah, he is a good dude. He's just fucking hilarious. And he does, I don't know what, there are some knife makers that attract a specific kind of customer. And unfortunately for those knife makers, that specific type of customer usually is dumb. And I mean, it's not their fault. I don't know what it is that just attracts. But no, Medford knives are great. They, like I said, they're overbuilt, bulky, and heavy. I like this is. I don't know why I love this, but yeah. Well, this is. Well, let me get my scale. Where is my scale? Hang on a second. Let's grab my scale. Let's see what this one weighs. There it is. There's cheese. So this knife weighs, we're only gonna do freedom units. This knife weighs 7.5 ounces. I think that's one of the heaviest knives here at the house right now. 7.5 ounces. This is heavy. This will pull your pants down. I love a knife with a thumb disc. I have a knife here that's 9. It's Big Blue. Like I said, if you guys get me to $500 a month on my Patreon, I will carry Big Blue for fucking, I'll carry Big Blue all the time. I'll make it my primary carry for like 3 weeks, a month, 2 or 3 weeks, 2 weeks to a month. I don't know if I can do a month. Go with 2 weeks. We'll do it. I'll just pick 2 weeks every other month. Yeah, Big Blue is 9.25 ounces. That's a fucking lot. That's heavy. Like, this is heavy, and I'm like, that's 3 ounces heavier. And then I'm like, 3 ounces. That's a lot of weed. you need a really big jar or a plastic pillowcase. So, God, I love this. No, there has to be some flip side of it. I thought, David, I had a brilliant idea. Back in the day when I was in really good shape, I could probably have done regular stripping. But at this point, I would have to do reverse stripping. I would go out on stage with a pile of clothes sitting on the stage, and I would come out naked. And if you wanted me to put, you had to throw money up on the stage for me to put my clothes back on. That's how I think that should work. Reverse stripping. I could do that. Like, fuck, put your clothes back on. You better start throwing money. The more money you throw, the more clothes I put on. I am so out of Jesus. That surprised me. Right? A thumb disc knife. Well, they're nice because it gives you multiple options. Like, you can thumb flip it if you want, finger flip it, and you can do that. I don't remember how they changed the PRT scoring system. They changed the PRT scoring system. I used to do the swim. I got to where, as much as I like to run, I would run long distance. I was like running 8 to 10 miles a day. And then I would get up and I would park at the gym and I would go for an 8 to 10 mile run. And then I would come back and then I would lift weights for cause my run would be finished. I'd get there at like 4 o'clock in the morning and I would go run, 8, 10 miles maybe, and then come back and I would be back just about the time the gym was opening. And I would fucking change out my sweaty running clothes, and then I would put on my, a dry pair of shorts and a t-shirt because I didn't want to get sweat all over the fucking machines. And I'd lift weights until time to go to work, like 2 hours later. I was trying to get, I wasn't trying to lift heavy. I was trying to get the stamina and recovery because I was also going to an MMA gym at the time. And you need that. So when you're doing boxing, you need that quick recovery time. Like, okay, I'm worn out, here it comes back. And so you do that by extra sets, extra reps, not super heavy, but like still fairly heavy, but high rep on a heavy weight. So anyway, I forget where I was going with this. Oh, but I would do my PRT and I would just max out on push-ups and sit-ups. And then I was swimming. I swam an 8:54 500 meter. 8:52, I think, was the last time I did it. So I would swim. I stopped running when I started having so many knee problems, and then I started swimming, and then I would do the same thing. I'd go to the training tank, and I'd swim, 3-4 miles in the afternoon. So I still go to the base, and I'll swim. I'll swim a mile. I forget. I'd have to do the math again to figure out how many laps down and back it is. It's a lot. It's a lot. It takes a while. But I would just swim for hours, and then I just would destroy the PRT swim because I could just throw all of it into it and still have energy. I have really long arms. Move a lot of water. And I wasn't fat then. I did a PRT swim. I forgot my swimming trunks one time. I had to do a PRT swim in a pair of cargo shorts. I'm not gonna lie to you, that made it way more difficult. They're nowhere near as streamlined as a thin pair of swimming trunks. I'm like, what the fuck? Am I dragging something? I mean, I still was well within my time. I mean, I was the old dude at the command. People were like, you see the old dude fucking doing on him push-ups? Now here I am, fucking three shoulder surgeries and 2 knee surgeries later. Like, yeah, the old dude wished he hadn't done all that shit. Guys, I gotta take the dog for a walk, and I got work to do. Work on your stuff. How much does my coffee cup weigh with a little bit of coffee in it? Just curious. 1 pound, 4 ounces. We had a Master Chief one time. I don't know what he ever did on PRT scores, but we were doing pepper spray. We were doing level 1 pepper spray for so we in fact had 1 MA. So Gunner's Mate's doing that shit on the ship. And there was a guy at ATG Westpac, the Float Tank Group West Track. He's Master Chief. He's like, hey, can I get my level 1 so that I've got it done? Because he was transferring. I was like, Master Chief, you're a Master Chief. What the fuck? He's like, I mean, if my guys have got to get qualled, I got to get qualled too. It's just the way it works. And I was like, well, good on you, Master Chief, because I'm not gonna lie to you, this is gonna fucking suck. And this motherfucker walks up, and I take the pepper spray, and the old pattern used to be eyes, nose, mouth, the Z pattern. And then you have them shake their head, open their eyes, and tell you how many fingers are holding up. This crusty old fucking bastard I hit this dude eyes, nose, mouth, dead on. His mouth was partially open. He shakes his head and I'm like, how many fingers? He's like, 3. Takes off. Didn't even fucking phase him. I come over to the end of the fucking spot near the decon where people are doing a fucking rain dance because like, and he's just standing there. He's like, his eyes are a little bit red. And I was like, Master Chief, you okay? He's like, I honestly looked at the can and made sure I didn't get a training inert canister. I was like, was that actual pepper spray? What the fuck is this shit? That motherfucker went over, washed his face at the decon station. I came over, his eyes were red. And I looked at him and was like, Master Chief, you okay? I got you, right? And he goes, oh, you got me. And I said, it's just, I didn't burn at all until I went to decon and washed my face. Now my eyes burn a little bit. And I was like, what the fuck are you made of? That is insane. I was like, you eat a lot of spicy stuff? And he goes, no, I don't really like spicy stuff. But he's like, I can eat it. It just doesn't affect me. He's like, I like the flavor of some of it. He's like, I was like, the fuck is this guy? And fucking, he's a superhero. This dude's a fucking mutant. Because I ain't gonna lie to you. No, he was not on PCP. I've been sprayed numerous times. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I fucking hate it. Like, there's so many things I would rather do than get pepper sprayed. Like, one of them is pull my ball sack up real tight so the skin is just smooth and you can see the veins, and then just fucking thump it. All day. I would rather do that than get pepper sprayed. That dude, he was crusty and tough. But he wasn't like a big guy or anything. He just like, I'm not gonna lie to you. No, this dude was, it's not that he was stupid either. He's Master Chief. You can't be Master Chief if you're stupid. Well, I take that back. I've met a few. But that motherfucker, Alex, you're right. I would much rather be tased. I would much rather be tased. It hurts nowhere near as bad. Yeah, the probes suck a little bit, but nothing like getting pepper sprayed. Like a taser will take you down. A good shot of pepper spray, that'll stop a fucking freight train. Guys, I gotta go. I got shit I gotta do, or I'm never gonna get it done. This has been fun. I love you guys. One last look at it for any of you guys that missed it. I shot some footage yesterday, but not enough. There was, I couldn't. I was working on so many other things. The Judge Dredd knife is done. If you want to see some better pictures of it, I posted them on Instagram. That fucking thing came out great. It came out great. Just subtle enough to give you a hint as to what it is. But I'll do a video about it. I'll do a video about it when I get a chance. So I might do some Instagram live feed from the shop. I haven't done an Instagram live feed for a while. But guys, take it easy. If you like the videos, give them a thumbs up. You know, like, give them a thumbs down. I don't think I'm gonna have time to do it, but later on there may be the end screen cuts that you guys know I